Hey folks, David Stewart here. Hope you guys are having a great day. Let's do a little bit of a movie review, if you can even call this a movie. The Super Mario Galaxy movie. This is a really hard one to analyze and review and arrive to any sort of conclusion because to what standard are you judging it? If you're judging it on the terms of a film, the way most films are judged, it's a really, really bad movie. If you are judging it as a video game adaptation, I think you might say it's really good. But that depends on what you want a video game movie adaptation to actually be. Because there's not a lot of character and plot in this movie or in the games that the movie is based off of. In fact, I would say it's a really perfect video game movie adaptation because like the plot and the characters in the Mario video games, they really just exist to shuffle the player through various set pieces, to show them new levels and new challenges, and to give them a reason to pass the levels and to frame how the levels are going to look, how they're going to be designed, what kind of gameplay mechanics you're going to have. That's the purpose of a plot in a Mario game. There's really not much of a plot in any Mario game, really outside of like Super Mario RPG kind of titles, which are really, I guess, a different discussion. But in terms of an adaptation of what you would think of as the classic Mario game experience, this movie does that. But does that make it a good movie? If you're judging it with the standard of other movies that are movies with setting, characters, and plot trying to tell a story, it's bad. What I think this film really exists to do is just to serve up a bunch of references. So if you understand that the purpose of the Mario Galaxy movie is to provide a bunch of video game references for fans of the video games, then it's very successful at doing that. And the conflict, if you want to call it that, of we have to save Rosalina, does allow you to shuffle the characters, I guess, through all the various set pieces and allow you to reference all of those Nintendo games. I watched this movie with my kids, and that's what they enjoyed about it was, oh, this character's from this game. Oh, that's from this game. Oh, that's from this game. Oh, the balloon power up is from this game. None of the things really make sense from just a story writing perspective. None of it makes any sense. There's no reason for Yoshi to be there. There's no reason for him to do the things that he does. There's no reason for the power-ups to exist. There's no reason for any of it to exist or to function in a way that allows for the plot to exist. But that's not the point of the movie. The point of the movie is to reference the games. So in that way, it really is like a perfect video game movie adaptation. But at the same time, is that what you want? Do you want a perfect video game movie adaptation that actually adapts what you see with the games? I think the audience actually does. So there's this big contrast between what a movie ought to be and what fans want a movie to be. And I think this delivers on that second one. This movie is what fans want the movie to be. It's not what fans of film want a movie to be. It's a product designed for the fan base. This can be a good or a bad thing in terms of making a movie financially successful. If something, as we're seeing with like the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, if it's really just geared towards that long tail of fans, then it's not going to be a big hit because you're not really marketing to the average person. But I think this one works with the Mario franchise because of just how gigantic it is. Playing a Mario game is almost a universal cultural experience for anybody over the age or under the age of about, let's say, 50 or even 55. Like even my mom has played Mario games and she's in her 70s. I grew up playing them. My wife and I, my kids grew up playing Mario games. They grew up playing the games I played, but also new games. And this movie is full of references to new games and to old games. And there's lots of little sideways things like, hey, did you get that reference? Oh, Dad, I think that's from that game. And I think, oh, he's doing this thing from this Yoshi game. And there's a lot of little funny little gags that can arise from reference humor for a video game, and there's an assumption that we've all played the game. I have to wonder if somebody's never played a Mario game before, and they came and they sat down and they watched this Mario Galaxy movie. they would feel like it was some kind of bizarre acid trip. None of it makes sense. There's no structure to the plot. The character motivations are like razor thin and just don't really need to do much of anything. There's like a basic A plot of Save the Rosalina. There's a B plot of Mario likes Princess Peach, obviously. And then there's like a C plot of like Bowser and his son. Okay. So you do have writing elements that are there for like some character arcs and some plot, but the sequence of events is just completely bonkers. And this was the case with the first movie as well. And so when I look at this, I'm like, which one, let me ask you guys a question. What's a better video game adaptation? The Mario movies or the Sonic movies? Because I think if you can ask this question and dig down, you could come to two answers, but the answer that you give has more to do with whether you want a piece of media that is in that media or you want something that is referencing something else. If you're wanting something that's referencing something else, then that's the Mario movie. If you're wanting something that is truly based on that thing, but tries to make a movie with varying degrees of success, then that's the Sonic movies. I think they're completely bonkers as well. And they're full of references to the Sonic games, but there actually is like setting characters and plot that happen despite them being just so completely zany. The Mario movie really is just about the references. It's about truly, this is just me. This is just the studio showing you the games and showing you the stuff that you remember from the games. And that's what the movie is almost entirely about, with some like, that's the tree and the ornaments are just like, here's little gags of the characters doing things. And that's the movie. I think earnest attempts to make movies, like real movies out of video games, have been failures really because they're not doing what Mario does, which is just embracing the bonkersness of the way video game plots tend to work, and just making something for the fans. And I think this works because there's so many fans. It doesn't really have to be anything besides a referential experience for it to be successful and for people to like it and for people to enjoy it. That's an interesting thing to think about. And I would love to read your opinions on the matter, whether a video game adaptation ought to be something like this, or should it actually attempt to be a film? Sonic is closer to that. I would think maybe like that Prince of Persia movie, which I never actually watched. I never watched it, so I'm not really talking from experience here. That would be closer to something that would be adaptable to an actual film, because there is kind of a plot to Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. But even so, the conflict is really brief, and then the rest of the game is spent platforming. So again, the plot exists to just sort of shuffle people through various set pieces, and you have to add a lot of extra stuff in there in order to execute a real film. And then I wonder about games like The Last of Us that are almost movies kind of gamified. Would it be better to adapt one of those? I know that they made a series that I didn't watch, again, because I don't usually watch TV shows. Is it better to take that approach? Like, should you look at a game that's already very much attempting to be a movie and that's what should be the movie? Or should you actually try to adapt a game? We've had so many attempts at different adaptations. There was the Street Fighter movie, that bizarre Mario Brothers movie from the 90s with John Leguizamo, I think, was in it, and Dennis Hopper. Like, what a crazy acid trip of a movie that was. But someone's like, well, we have turtles and stuff. Let's try to make a weird sci-fi movie out of that. They attempted to make like an actual movie. Maybe it was better that they did something like the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which is just directly adapting the games in a way that it doesn't really matter that it's attempting to be a movie. And the first one was like that too. And so you had crossover stuff with Donkey Kong. This one has a crossover with Star Fox and stuff like that. You just have some property crossovers and weird little wink winks for the fans, and that's what makes the experience fun. So is it a movie experience? I don't really think so. I think it's more just a fan experience is what I would call a fan experience. That's what the Super Mario Galaxy movie is. It's just a passive media fan experience and not really a film. But anyway, I'd love to have your opinions on it. Is adapting video games, is that something that maybe Hollywood should just give up on? I personally think the art of the game is in the gameplay and attempting to extract the plot from it and turn it into a movie. I know they're doing an adaptation of Zelda. Maybe that one will try to be more of a film, but I don't know. I don't really know. That one's probably not going to be a comedy. It's probably going to be more serious. So I would love your predictions on that one as well. Let me know what you think down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I do have a science fiction story that's out on Patreon, which you can actually buy just directly on Patreon as an ebook, or you can get it as part of any of the paying Patreon tiers, including like $1. So check that out, link down below, and I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.